GSL Season 1.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 2026 GSL Season 1 Round of 12 Group B. We just wrapped up with our elimination match, and we have one series left. The decider match. We're here to decide which of these two players will be the final player to make it into the round of 8. We have Bjorn making it through first place as he was able to take down Bunny 2-0 and Trigger 2-0, but now we have a rematch. Cure versus Trigger. Trigger did take down Cure 2-0 at the beginning of the broadcast. Trigger, he also took down Cure earlier in the qualifier, and now they face off once again. Trigger, he's beaten him twice so far in the past past 2 weeks. Can he do it again, or will Cure get his revenge? Oh boy, it all comes down to this, the final best of 3. Vámonos, baby, vámonos. As our players are ready, of course, and vetoes are about to be revealed. Have our vetoes. Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping in this best of 3? Let's go. Okay, so game 1 is going to be on the Old Republic. Game 2, Winterman, is game 3, 10,000 feet. Interesting. So Cure, you got rid of Celestial, Taito, and White Rabbits. These are maps where it can be a little bit easier for Trigger to maintain a foothold on, so it does make sense. Meanwhile, Trigger, he got rid of Tourmaline, Ruby Rock, which are more aggressive maps, and Mothership as well, which there is that more RNG factor to as well. So again, vetoes do make sense when it comes to how players want to approach this. Trigger, he got rid of the more aggressive maps. Meanwhile, Cure, he got rid of some of the more oppressive maps. And here we go, we're loading into game 1. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Old Republic, we have a Team Liquid, Cure. As the right-hand corner, we have the Canadian prototype of Basilisk, this Trigger. they just don't want us to introduce the players, papi. They just want to send it. Now, before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Onside for sponsoring the event, and a big shout out to Intel as well. Intel and Onside for being the main sponsors, and also a big shout out to Patreon. I say Patreon. A big shout out to the GSL Patreon. If you want to help support this event, and if you want to help fund Season 3 of GSL, you can do so via the Patreon, so you can help support. Currently, Season 1 and Season 2 are fully funded. Season 3 has yet to be confirmed, has yet to be funded, and likewise, we can even have more regular GSL CKs as well, and on a bi-monthly basis. Twice a month we could actually achieve that. So again, help support the GSL via the Patreon. Help support goes a long way. Does go a long way here. Otherwise, we're jumping in. We're jumping in again. We have a rematch now. In the previous series, we did see Cure being hyper aggressive in the first game, and that kind of going against him in a sense and being shut down. Likewise, we saw in game 2, Cure went for one base all-in. Went for one base all-in in game 2, got scouted, got shut down as well. So basically, Cure, he was being hyper aggressive in game 1 and game 2, and he was punished for that. He was shut down. Trigger showcasing his defensive prowess. We'll see how the second series around, the second go around, it does divert, how it does change, how things have adjusted coming from series to series. First things first, economic opener out of Cure, going Rax Expand, economic start out of our blue Terran player. Meanwhile, Trigger, he does go for a standard opener himself. Everything's looking normal so far, everything's looking as it should. So far, so good. As we are opening up, we are getting to our tech of choice. We have our factory follow-up, so there's no crazy like tech lab first into second racks into 3cc 3 racks, or even into a regular 3 racks. There's no 2-on-1, no shenanigans here by Cure. Likewise, Trigger will soon get into a tech of choice, most likely Twilight Council. Now, when it comes to PvT, it is viable to go Robo first, or Stargate openers as well, or even Twilight Council into charge, but they're usually very niche builds, and they're usually very stylistic to certain players. Trigger isn't really one to divert too much, so we're expecting Blink play every single game. Now, he is one to switch it up though, to go 2-gate, 3-gate, or 4-gate Blink Stalker. Eyes are on Trigger for the gateway count. Eyes are on Trigger. For the time being, though, we're opening up. Adept does poke in. Is going to be chased down. And will deny some mining, but not much more than that. As Blink is now on the way, as we mentioned. Opening up Blink. There's that second gateway. Eyes are open for a third gateway and a robo. Meanwhile, Cure going to be opening it with a mine drop. Okay, a much more tame opener here by Cure. Much more tame, much more standard. The mine drop is designed to get scouting information more than anything. It's all about that scouting. Meanwhile, very safe build here by Trigger. He does go for the robo. The robo is in production, so very safe play by our Canadian Protoss. We're not taking any chances. Not this time. And no chances here. Medevac is almost done. Drop is coming. Oh, I was assuming it was going to be a mine drop, but no, it's going to be a mine marine drop. Oh, this is much more dedicated here. If you recall, Björn and Maru did popularize this build, what, a year ago, 2 years ago? The goal here is for the Widow Mine not to connect with probes. Ideally, oh, as the Medevac gets spotted, but ideally the Widow Mine zones away the Gateway Army and Marines, they focus down the workers. But now Adept is being caught. Stalker's going to respond. Oh, Adept is still going to fall, but does pick off one of the Marines, and the drop is denied. So better engage here by Trigger. Sure, Cure, he killed an Adept. He did kill an Adept, but he does not get into the middle line. He does not deal any economic damage. Not yet. No damage for the time being. Here we go. Cure does pick up. He does drop towards the main. And we're locking in. We're locking in. Does boost into the main base. Third base is being taken. It's going to be a robo. It's going to be a bay before charge. So faster Colossus. Widow Mine does burrow. Mine shot goes off, catching out 3 probes. Not bad. Not a bad mine shot, but the Marines will be cleaned up. They do focus on 1 more probe in the process. So 4 probe kills for, what was that, 5 Marines and a Widow Mine. Not a bad trade by Cure. So Cure does that trade Trigger. Likewise, Cure is pushing through the center. He's going to be spotted by the Observer. He is spotted. Trigger moving in position. Oh, we even land the Vikings. Cure, he's being hyper aggressive here. He's rallying across the map. Yeah, he's rallying across more Vikings, more tanks. Hyper aggression by Cure. The 1-2 punch. Trigger doesn't engage ahead of time. Pick away the Marines. Ooh, does get 2 Marines. Does shave away some of the HP on the tank. As Cure rotates over towards the third. Once again, Trigger is here to engage. Picking up another Marine. Battery is now done. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, the boys are being pulled out of the tanks. 1 tank goes down. He gets the tank, gets the Viking. And Trigger holds. Trigger, he does hold on at a cost, so it's going to cost him a lot of probes. That's 5 probes going down, but Trigger does survive. Cleans up the tanks, the Medevac, and the Vikings. That was a heavy loss here for Cure. And Trigger, can he chase down that final tank? Can he chase him down? He's blinking. He's blinking forward. Tank on the high ground. Cure gets home. Cure does get home. Oof. Cure does punish. Catching out a Stalker. Does catch the Stalker. Trigger looking for another way in. The Observer does spot the army. Scan does read the Observer. There's no saving it. Stalker goes down as well. Oof. And the game will continue. Now, from here, Trigger did lose a lot of workers in that defense. He is recovering economically. He should be getting a 4th base. The 4th base is late for Trigger. My assumption is that we have a 3rd CC on the high ground for Cure. I believe that is the case. Yep, it is. So CC on the high ground. Trigger is gaining map control. He's building up the Colossus +1. Extendable Lance. Again, Trigger, he should soon be expanding. Does confirm saturation. Does confirm the SCVs. That is a sign. Trigger is going for a massive gateway explosion first. Before the Nexus. But there it is, Nexus on the left-hand side. Okay. A decently timed 4th base. It could have been earlier, but it felt like Trigger was just playing safe. It looked like he wasn't fully convinced if Cure was going to be expanding or not. So safer play there by Trigger. Safer play. That's behind this Trigger going for a faster Templar Archives. Okay, working towards Storm. Again, Colossus first, then into Archons, then into Storm. Cure is being active once again. I believe Trigger does miss the move out. And do we base trade? Uh-oh. Trigger, he can always recall. He can always recall back home. And we have to move soon. Curie's going to hit first. Yeah, Curie hits first, and Trigger, does he respond or does he commit across the map? He's left idle. Yeah, the army's left idle. There we go. The fourth is gonna fall. Trigger, he actually responds. Trigger is completely out of position. Ay, ay, ay. Can he catch out the army at least? Can he catch the army? Tanks the siege. Tanks sieged up. Blinks on forward. Gets one of the tanks. Gets two. Yeah, two tanks go down. Cleans up the most of the army. And a better fight here for Trigger, but again, he will lose the expansion. Yeah, the base is lost. Trigger, he needs to be more active. Now, the plus side here is there are no defensive tanks, right? The tank count was reset, so no defensive tanks back at home. Scan does reveal the army. Trigger is pushing, and can Cure hold? Oh, Trigger once again is distracted. Yeah, big distraction. Nice pick up on the full medevac. But Trigger's fourth is, I mean, his fourth was already late to begin with. Now even heavily delayed here. Very late fourth base. Trigger, he's got to commit. He needs to break through. We'll see if he can. As he's pushing into a minefield. Base out the first mine. There's two more mines behind this. Nice control so far by Trigger. Oh, the lift on the Archon. Okay, very nice control. And Trigger's pushing through. He's pushing through. Remember, there's no mines, there's no more tanks. The Colossus, they have to push forward. Yeah, they need to move in at the same time, drop into the main base. Boy's being pulled. And Trigger, he breaks through. He's doing it. He blinks in. Gets one. Gets one of the Vikings. There's what, 4 Vikings left. Likewise going for the CC. A little bit messy here by Trigger. A little bit messy. The drop in the main base is getting ahead. 13 probe kills. Insane damage in the main. And Trigger's doing good damage, but again, he loses an equivalent amount of workers across the map. Does contain Cure. If it wasn't for that one drop across the map, Trigger, he'd be miles ahead. He still is ahead. He's still in a better position. But that one drop was insane. Insane damage by that drop. Still warping in, still reinforcing. Remember, there's no storm, just Archons. And I don't see Trigger breaking the natural. It's going to be difficult. Picks away at the depots. Looking for a way in. He does need to deal with the Viking count. The Viking count is actually quite high. See the Vikings rotating. The boys are being pulled. Ideal for Trigger. Yeah, he's doing it. He is doing it. He breaks that natural. Takes down the depots. With that, getting within range of the CC. And gets into the middle line. 4 CV kills. Not bad. And now we come in. Now we come into the fight. Vikings, they take down one of the Colossus. Archons, they push forward. Vikings going down. There's 3 Vikings left, down to 2. Yeah, down to 2 Vikings. And Colossus, they just shell away at the army. 2 Colossus left. 1 Viking remaining. And soon to be down to 0. Yeah, down to 0 Vikings. Blinks on forward. And Kuriki has been broken. There's nothing left here with the natural. There's nothing left. Trigger, he's doing it. GG gets called, and Trigger takes game number 1. The smile. GG, well played. Trigger, he does take a lead in the series, and again, Trigger, he was in a stronger position. If you recall, Trigger, he was able to break the main army, take map control. I was concerned about that one drop though. If you remember, there was that one drop in the main base that killed 13 probes. It was like 13 or 14 probes went down. That was insane damage. If it wasn't for that, it would have been a much cleaner game out of Trigger. Despite that, he still had enough to punish that third base and to break into the natural. GG well played. A lot of this came down to a lot of the momentum came down to Cure getting caught, if you recall. Remember, Cure, he pushed towards the 4th base. He did kill the 4th, but he lost everything. He lost his tanks, lost most of his army. Yes, he kept 2 medevacs alive in the corner of the map, but upon losing all those tanks and losing that buffer, losing that force, it meant that he had that much less to defend. That's why it was crucial that Trigger counterattacked. I was concerned that Trigger was going to take too long and that he was going to kind of rest on his laurels and maybe be too passive, but no, thankfully Trigger, he committed then and there. He broke on through. GG, well played. And with that, Trigger, he does claim the first game, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. And does Trigger close it out here and now? We're going to be loading into Winter Madness. Una más is all he needs. One more game, baby. Bra. I see Kurt in the chat. Yes, yes. GSL does have their Patreon, so you can help support them via the Patreon, baby. You can help support the Korean scene, support StarCraft. And here we go. Here we go. We are now getting into our next game. Potentially the final game of the series. As spawning in the right-hand corner, he is up against the wall. The Korean Terran, the blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. In the top left, we have the Canadian Protoss. It is Trigger. They give us no time, baby. But here we go again. A Cure, he's up against the wall, down in the series, and one more loss, and he is out of GSL. Meanwhile, Trigger, Honomas, one more is all he needs to make it through into the round of 8. When it comes to the game itself, once again, we had a Cure being hyper-aggressive and punished for that aggression. That has been the name of the game for the entire series, the previous one and this one as well. Cure, we gotta calm down, but at the same time, it does not feel easy getting to a longer macro game in TvP, especially on these larger maps. Welcome to Winter Madness. The SCV does move out across the map. Are we setting up for the eBay block? We haven't seen one yet tonight. The SCV's coming in. We're coming in for the block. For those who are curious, ideally Cure, he wants to force the unnatural natural out of Trigger. He wants to force the third base to be taken on the low ground. So the eBay comes in, and it's going to go unscattered. Ooh, better start for Cure. Now, what he should be doing here is get the eBay up to half HP, half progression, then move the SCV over towards the triangular third and block the third base there as well. Yeah, he's moving out. He does move out, he's blocking the expansion, and he's forcing the low ground third base for Trigger. The unnatural natural, if you will. Yeah, you can see it on the mini-map. There he is, he's forced onto the low ground, and now Trigger is very exposed. Trigger, he's exposed to aggression to all ins. Now, suddenly Trigger, you can see how far away his natural is to his own main. So a very far away expansion, it's also on the low ground, there's also a wide arc of aggression, of attack. Now, this isn't like an auto loss or anything like that, but it is just much more difficult to defend. Now, we have seen a lot of Protoss players make the best defense be a good offense and actually be the aggressors and just not allow the Terran player to actually engage and have the Terran player be on the back foot. That's how someone like Hero, for example, does approach this kind of situation. Otherwise, we could see a Stargate opener. The reason why Stargate play can work here is because the Oracle doesn't care about ground terrain. It can very quickly rotate back and forth between your bases. So Stargate responses are common, but no, it's going to be a Twilight Council. Okay, it's going to be a Twilight Council instead, and that means we're going to need some shield batteries. We need a battery in both bases, in both mineral lines. We'll see if Trigger can keep up. Meanwhile, Cure going for his Reacted Marine. Reacted Marine into mine, into early drop. It looks like we might be going for the Marine Widowmine drop that we saw last game. Obviously, we're getting there in a different way, but it does feel to be the case. Does look to be the case here. Stalker does scout the add-on, does scout the Marine production, confirms there's no Reapers and there's no Hellions. So Widowmine is spotted. We can bait at the mine with the Adept. We've got to time it well. Ooh, very nicely timed. Quick unburrow there by Cure. We have a little micro battle. We have our dance. Again, we have that dance. Adept shades in, confirms all the add-ons, confirms the production, even shades into the middle line. Oh, and do we get an SCV? Not quite. Yeah, not quite here. Adept goes down. Stalker's at least 9 mining at the natural. Defenses at the natural expansion of Trigger. The unnatural natural, true. Trigger heads back. Heads back, gets one, gets 2 Marines. 3, okay, it's the Trigger. 3 Marine kills, recalls back home. Here comes the mine drop. Show us the mine drop into the natural. Show us. Oh my god. Mine drop comes in, catching out, I believe, a Stalker. 1 Stalker, 1 probe. So not bad connections. Connection's not too bad. 2 more gateways on the way. I believe that is 3 gate blink. 3 gate blink with a robo. Very safe play here by Trigger. And it looks like once again he wants to fight for map control. Wants to fight for map control. He doesn't want to fight back at home. Not with that brutal defensive setup. Does take a tank shot to the face. So be careful. No! Ooh, does overextend. Yeah, it does overextend here. 2 more tank volleys. Ay, ay, ay. Bit of miscontrol there by Trigger. Oh, 4 gate blink. My apologies. He's going into 4 gateways. He might get a tank? No. Yeah, we're overextending. Especially because of the tank shots earlier. This Stalker army was heavily battered, heavily bruised. That was not worth it for Trigger. Trigger, he's starting to fall behind. These are hefty losses. Remember, this early on, we can't afford these losses as a Protoss. You need to maintain your Stalkers. You need to maintain your presence. Woodbine job will... Oh, get 1 probe. Does get 1 probe at the same time. Trigger, he blinks into the main. He's barely out of range of the tank. Nice pick up. Gets a depot. Takes down a depot. Takes down a reactor. Nice trades. He can try to go further behind the gas geyser. At the same time, 3 probe kills. Oof. Yeah, a bit of a back and forth trade here. I still do favor Cure. Like, Cure is killing more probes, late reaction, 5 probes go down. Trigger's economy is hurting. His economy is hurting here. And things are looking solid for Cure. Just waiting for Stim, waiting for his upgrades, then he can push. And it's going to be a tough hold for Trigger. Not impossible, but it's going to be very tough, especially considering he went 4K Blink. Ugh. That also explains why the expansion was late. There's that 3rd CC. Now, if given time, Trigger, he can... Trigger, with with just being too cavalier. How many free tank shots have we seen here from Cure? The tank boys have been brutal. Meanwhile, at the same time, Trigger, he does drop into the main. I believe he wants to go for the tank. Gets 1. Okay. Nice pickup. 1 tank for a Zealot. Better trade for Trigger. Finally, something going his way. Trigger pulls away, building up his Colossus. But again, this has just been a very shaky game for Trigger. It's been very, very shaky. This has been the strongest start that Cure's had so far against Trigger in all of his games tonight. A very strong start. Wait, Cure's now expanding. This is the moment where Trigger would need a 4th base. But again, Trigger, he's still saturating his 3rd. That's just how behind he is. Trigger's moving out. I didn't see him breaking the siege line. Not with what he has right now. He's going for it though. Again, the pressure's on Trigger. He has to do something. Does what the expansion. Tempted to dive. Oof. Yeah, massive tank bullies. The army is punished. As we mentioned, Trigger, he cannot touch this army. He cannot push in, not like this. He needs more Zealots. He needs more charge lots. Trigger, he supply block. No, that was not the time. Oh, brutal supply block. He knows when he tried to warp in. Yeah, 2 pylons on the way. Trigger, he's banking resources. He commits. I mean, again, he has to. Boys are being pulled. Can he get some of the tanks? He blinks in. He gets 1. He gets 1 tank. And can he get 2? He barely can get the 2nd tank as well. Oh my god. It's a brutal trade. Yeah, he does not break through. All 3 Colossus go down. Did not break the siege line. And Cure holds. Curie does hold on. Now, it did cost him the mineral line. 17 SCVs. 17 SCVs went down. This is a very, very messy game state. Trigger, he committed everything he had there. He cripples the economy somewhat, but he also loses the entire army. I still favor Cure. Like, Cure, sure, he lost workers, but he has mules. Like, mules, they make up for that. He's on an even base count, so Cure still has the better economy. And he's building up the larger army as well. Building up the larger army. Trigger is in trouble. Here comes Cure. Trigger, I believe he has 1 Colossus to defend. No, sorry, he's got 2. He's got 2 Colossus. Now, Trigger, if he, that one Raven's being so annoying this game. He's got 11 kills. 11 kills on the Raven. That's insane. That's all pro kills, by the way. Purely economic damage. Trigger, the best he can hope for is to engage the army as it moves out. I still don't really like the idea of him pushing into the siege line or into the defensive position. He's going for it though. Okay, Zel's like peel off into the mineral line, not bad. Boy's being pulled away, nice economic damage. I believe he's forced to fight. The Colossus, no, he's gonna lose one. One Colossus goes down, the other Colossus as well. Massive losses here for Trigger. Losing both Colossus at the start of the fight. And now we can just stim in. Yeah, now we can just stim and win. Cure, he has, I mean, now we've triggered Cure. Cure can just counterattack. Trigger has to get the hell out of here. Nice run by it. SCVs are going down. That's nice and all, but it comes down to the main force. It comes down to the main army. Sure, Cure, he's lost a bunch of SCVs, but it may not matter. Because here comes Cure. As he moves in, gets into the robo. Prism goes down. No juggling. The Colossus is about to pop, but we have Vikings. He still has the Vikings. He kites away. Yeah, kites back. There we go. Colossus pops out for 1 second. Goes out instantly, and with that, we're going to the ace match. Curie snowballs out of control. He breaks the main army. Stims on in. And with that, the robo will fall. The natural base as well. There's no recovering from this. Yeah, desperation out of Trigger. He pulls the boys into the bio army. 19 pro kills. GG gets called, and Cure ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Curie does have the series. We're going all the way to game number 3. Winding it back here. To be honest, Trigger, he was playing from behind from almost the beginning. Straight up. Trigger, he was forced into a really awkward position when he was forced to take the unnatural natural, and that was fine. Like, it's a difficult position to be in, but that doesn't put you straight up behind. What was difficult though was that Trigger, he went for the 4-gate follow-up. He went for the 4-gate follow-up, and we were pointing it out at the time, but in the aftermath of Trigger forced to take that base and trying to be aggressive and trying to contain Cure, he was being very, very wasteful with his army. He was losing so many stalkers, stalker after stalker after stalker. Then we had the mine job, then we had the Raven harass. Trigger, who was losing so many workers at home, and he was bleeding out stalkers as he was trying to be efficient across the map. He was just falling apart. He was just falling apart due to the 4-gate blink, late 3rd base, non-existent 4th base, a worse economy. Trigger, he was just behind in every aspect. It led into that final big push at the 3rd location. It's all that Trigger could do, and he could not break Cure. GG. GG, well played. So just a really rough start for Trigger from the beginning, and that leads us into the ace match. We'll see if Trigger can bring it back. We'll see if Cure can close it out. As spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. It is Kira for Team Liquid. Oh, hello. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have a Trigger from Canada for Basilisk. Let's go. Let us go. As this time Trigger moves out immediately with the probe, does move out, will scout, will confirm whether or not there's anything moving out across the map, ensuring there's no proxy, ensuring there's no eBay block. And again, welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a smaller map of the map pool, smaller map, very short rush distance by ground, shortest rush distance even. So aggression can be favored. I think that's maybe the wrong way of putting it. I would say that momentum is favored, not aggression. What I mean by that is the bases, the main, natural, third, and fourth are all very centralized. The bases are very close together. It's very easy to rotate and defend your 4 bases. But if you take a bad fight, then the counterattack is insanely fast. Very, very fast counterattack. So pushes are even more favored here on 10,000 feet. And if a player gains momentum, if they get a lead, then they can just run away with it. You can run away with it. As Trigger does claim his natural expansion, a much more standard and much more comfortable start here by Trigger. True. Much more comfortable. Cure did go double gas opener, faster factory, delayed TC out of Cure. More tech heavy starts. With this, we can go into Reaper Hellion, we can go into early Cyclones, committed tank push, or even Banshee play. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. So now we are making a second Reaper. So additional Reapers, no faster add-on. We are committing initially into Reaper Hellion, and the goal here should be economic damage. It's about scouting, it's about getting into a mineral line and picking up as many probes as possible. This is a bold build here on 10,000 feet, just because the main base is a little bit less accessible than on other maps. So bold move. Safety battery in the main, bearing in mind that Trigger, he did scout the initial tech opener. There it is, Reapers into the main base as well. Double Reaper cliff, and the army's in position, and the army will punish. Ooh. And we spoke about this is why the main base is less accessible, because it's a double Reaper cliff into the main, so you have to commit harder, and you will punish that much more. So far the Reaper Hellion is not worth of a cure. Not worth it. Hallucination gets eyes on the follow-up starport, on the Widowmine production. To be fair, I mean, could be additional Hellions. Trigger has yet to confirm. As Reaper Hellion rotates, attempts to dive. No damage. He gets locked in. No, he gets locked in. Yeah, one Reaper goes down, losing one, losing 2 Reapers even. Yeah, both Reapers do fall. That is 3 Reapers for 0 damage. Oof. Yeah, Cure having a very shaky start, but we mentioned it again, like Reaper Hellion does not work well on 10,000 feet. The map is working against Cure and working for Trigger. Hellions are deflected. And so far, stronger start for Trigger. Stronger start. As the mine drop is on the way, there's still potential here for Cure to recover. We need this mine drop to get damage done. It's going to be difficult. Typically, mine drops are designed to scout more than anything. They're designed to scout. So we have a mine drop coming in. Trigger, he does pull the boys in, does pull them away, thankfully. And does get 1. Yeah, 1 probe and 1 stalker go down. Not a bad trade. At the same time, Reaper Hellion into the natural. Okay. Probes are lining up. Messy defense here by Trigger. Very messy. 3 probe kills. Denied mining time. But Trigger does hold. That was messy, but it was the defense. Likewise, behind this, we have the faster bait, delayed charge. Earlier Colossus here by Trigger. As he's being active. Once again, Trigger, he should not move into this army. Likewise, Hellions once again going for another. Oh, the hell, the probes are lining up. Yeah, probes they line up. 2 probes go down. 3 probe kills even. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, 3 probes. Curie's making up for the early game. He's making up for it. Trigger, we need to tighten things up. As he does find a way into the main, he can maybe try to blink in and deny the upgrade. With high ground vision. There's a bio army in position. Yeah. No way in. There's no way in. Cure claiming his 3rd. And Trigger, he needs to think about a 4th base soon. It does go double forge. Okay, double forge, double upgrades. Forge, double upgrades. Likewise, we do have more Colossus amassing here for Trigger. And so far the game is settling down. I would say that in the previous game it was very clear that Trigger was at a deficit for like the entire game, but here it's still very close. It's still very close, still very clutch. We've had good moments for both players. I would say that Cure has a slight edge thanks to all the economic damage. That is true. He does have a slight edge, but Trigger for the most part he's holding his own. He's claiming his 4th at a decent time. Taking up into Archons, building up his Colossus. And we're building up in towards a longer game state. Now, I mentioned something earlier here, but specifically on 10,000 feet, the natural 3rd and 4th base are very close. So the idea of Cure turtling up into a 4th and maxing out is very real here on this map. It's very real. And that may just be the plan. It's for Cure to turtle. Gateway is going to be thrown down. Trigger just throwing down a reinforcement point. Storm is on the way. That will help. And Trigger should not push into this. I mean, you can see here, right? We have a siege line of tanks, Liberators, SimCity, Bio. It would be a mistake to try to force our way up that ramp. What Trigger needs to do is wait for Cure to expand. Just wait for Cure to claim to try to take a 4th base. And that's when Cure will spread himself further thin. Not too much, bearing in mind that as we were trying to emphasize, this map, the bases are really close together, so it's difficult to really capitalize on a player expanding. But that's going to be your best chance. As it's happening, Trigger, he has to take more bases. More bases, more expansions, setting up for the late game. Hey, for the first time tonight, we're actually embracing the mid game and heading towards the late game situation, late game setup. We're on the way. Here comes the 4th. Trigger's getting a 5th. Now, as this 4th base is being taken, now we can see Trigger rotating over. But once again, I don't think there's much of an opening here. Like, once again, the 4th and 3rd are right next to each other. Trigger has plenty of High Templar. At the same time, we have some EMPs. Comes down to the spellcasters. Who lands first? The Storm of the EMP. Ghost coming in. EMP does land. Ooh, does connect with the High Templar. Prism gets shut down in the main. Ay, ay, ay. And Trigger, the aggression is denied. The aggression is denied. Storm does try to zone. Massive armor shed here on the main force. On the Zealots, on the Gateway army. Trigger, he rotates towards the south side. But again, Cure is maxed. And as we mentioned, specifically on 10,000 feet, breaking a 4-basing player, it's so difficult. As a result of that, oh, nice EMP, very nice EMPs. And Trigger not paying attention. Trigger gets punished. But I was going to say, though, as a result of this, we should be seeing Trigger take more bases. Trigger, he should be taking every base on the map right now. He commits in. Okay. Oof. Tries to commit in. Gets the Liberator. Again, he cannot break this position. Not like this. Nice Aileron by though. Coming in from behind. Storm does zone away. Very nice Storm. Zelsa get on top of the tank. Trigger pulls away. Another nice EMP. Oh, and Trigger, he has no shields. He has no shields. He's getting caught out. He's getting surrounded. Trigger, he has to get out of here. Yeah, he needs to get out. He's getting surrounded. Getting caught out. Trigger, he needs to leave. At the same time, we get a couple of SCV kills. Nothing major, though. Zelsa get 4 CVs, and Trigger, he does plummet in supply. Plummets in supply. I would want to see Trigger take both center expansions. He's getting one. He's getting one center base. It would behoove him to get the other, just to make sure that he's able to take resources away from Cure. I believe we saw a fleet beacon. Initially, that should just be for the mothership, but we can start thinking about Tempest a little bit later on. Shadow Stride. Cure is now claiming a 5th. Oh, Raven's in position. A massive EMP on the High Templar. No storms. Yeah, no storms. We need disruptors. High Templar, their use is come and gone. Massive Nova. Does connect, but only one. Yeah, only one Nova. Nice flanking Colossus. Catching out some of the ghosts. And not a bad trade for Trigger, but again, he still cannot maintain these losses yet. He needs to reinforce. He needs more of an army. He needs more disruptors. We need more disruptors. As he's making 2 disruptors at a time. Stalkers, they push in towards the 3rd. Nova does crazy army. Ghosts are getting low. Stalkers, they blink in. Oh. Yeah, bold blink. Takes down the Liberator. Curry has to reposition. At the same time, the 5th base is now being taken. Trigger, he cannot let that happen. He can't let the 5th base just get up and running. Yeah, Nova does crazy army. Where are the Vikings, by the way? Yeah, Vikings, there we go. They're rotating over. Does need those Vikings. Army does Tim in. Some panic Novas. Yeah, wasted Nova there from Trigger. Another Nova goes off, does not quite connect, and Cure, he breaks on through. He breaks on through, collapsing on the army. Colossus go down, Disruptor as well, and Cure has done it. Cure, he has done it. He breaks the main force. He can now give chase, and Trigger, he has nothing left. Trigger. Nothing left here. Again, we saw some questionable engagements on Trigger, but I don't blame him. It's just so difficult to break a turtling Terran on 10,000 feet. So difficult. And Trigger, he tried, and he failed. Tried, and he failed to break the turtling Terran. Kuriki now breaks out across the map, pushing out towards the center base. For now, just settling on the army. Cashing out more Zealots, more Stalkers. Happy to trade. And Trigger, he needs more time. He needs more disruptors. We get a decent connection. Connection's decent. We have one more Nova. Mainly zoning away. And Curry just nobody got control, pushing into the bases here. The Nexus is going to fall. This is a world where maybe if Trigger can land these Novas, then maybe he can take the fight. But he needs those Novas to connect. Nah, not good enough. Yeah, we get some okay connections, but still not good enough. Another disruptor has arrived. Trigger, he's holding his own. He's built up his army. He still has potential with those Novas. He has potential at least. As Novas, they do connect. Not bad, the Novas. They're popping up. Colossus goes down. Mothership has now arrived. Trigger, he's still holding his own. He didn't really lose many workers. He's still on 86. 86 probes, still plenty of bases. Maintain the fringe expansions. That wasn't the mothership, was it? That was. I think that was the war prison. Yeah. As Trigger's moving in. And once again, nice Nova. Oh my god, the Novas! I want to say the past 5 or 6 Novas have been connecting, and now Mothership recalls into the main. Ah, Curie's ready. Yeah, Curie's ready for it. Panic Cloak. Catching out some straight Liberators though. Better trade here by Trigger. Very nice trade. Catching out the Liberators. Zoning back the army. Trigger, he has been fighting well as of late. Diving on Liberators, never goes off. Forcing splits. Oh my god, massive connections. And Trigger his Novas. They're not missing. They do not miss. Oh, as Vikings, they attempt to harass. Okay, yeah. They were hunting down the Mothership. Mothership did get away. Trigger, you calm down. Yeah, some Panic Novas towards the end. Finally, some of them do not connect. Panic Novas out of Trigger. Stalkers are coming for the counterattack. They will get the tank, just barely. A little bit messy though. Messy trade. Mothership joins the main army. Cannot cloak. Bases are being revealed. And Trigger, he rotates towards the entrance of the third. Okay. Rotates to the right hand side. Curie, he will deny center left. No recall. And no recall available. Ooh, and that's a massive pickup here. Yeah, one of the most important mining bases for Trigger. He's going to lose the mineral line. 13 probes. Trigger, he wants to at least punish the army. Wants to try. But he cannot. And nice reinforcements, nice interception. Curie, he pulls out. As Trigger, he does go for the recall. He gets in. Oh no, it's going to be close. Oh my god, he barely finishes the recall. He busts into the main. Yeah, the main army pulls away. Meanwhile, the massive push into the main base came with the production. Pushing further in. And can he land these Novas? Can he land them? SimCity working against Cure. Nova goes off. First one zones. Nice lift. Oof. Yeah, disruptors are going down, and so far this dive into the main base wasn't worth it. Yeah, it was not worth it. It's going to cost him every disruptor. Oof. Trigger, he plummets the supply. It was a cool move going for the recall, but he got no damage done. He delayed some of the production, that's it. It just was not worth it. He didn't have enough with the recall. Yeah, did not have enough. Trigger, he plummets in supply. He needs to rebuild, needs to remax. Trigger, he has the money, he has the bank. And Trigger counterattacks. Ah, this is a bit of a desperation move. It's desperate. Storm does help. Colossus is getting caught out. And the army should break into the natural. Yeah, just came with the production at the same time. Trigger, he commits in as well. Bearing in mind that when it comes to a main fight, Cure is favored. Cure, he has a stronger main army. As he does came with the production, depowers the Robo. But Trigger, he's banking High Templar. True. He's banking up Templar. I'd like to see Trigger push into the natural, not the third. There we go. Rotates over. Rotates that natural, blinks in, catches that one of the Liberators. He just keep going. Keep going. He could just keep pushing. Pulls away, settles to the mineral line, getting 4 more CVs. And again, that counterattack, it was worth it. It was well worth it here. As Cure didn't keep pushing. Cure, he turned around. He turned back around. We're getting very messy here. Very messy. Liberty count is still quite high. Only 1 disruptor for Trigger. That's important to take note of. Just 1 disruptor. Cure is keeping up with the rotation. DTs dive into the main. Not bad. Yeah, going for Archons. Unable to blink away. Trigger, he commits to the dive. He cannot break through though. Not until it's so many freedom zones. There's too much liberation. And Trigger, he's broke. Trigger, he's running out of money. He's got a low probe count. And he has no gas. He has minerals, but no gas. Again, every time the Trigger rotates, Cure, he's there. He's there to stop him. He's there to stop the rotation. We do have a Zealot run by, but I believe there's a planetary in position. Nice blink. Decent catch. Getting on top of the ghost. Oh, massive EMPs. No more storm. Yeah, no more storm. Again, we're too heavily reliant on High Templar here. There are just so many ghosts for that. Too many ghosts. And Nova's going off teasing connection, but Trigger, he'll lose everything. He's cornered. He's cornered. There's no way out of this. He tries to blink away. He'll bleed out the High Templar, the Colossus, the Disruptors. He'll deny the CC, but Trigger, he has no money. As we mentioned earlier, he's just broke. He's out of money. And with that, Cure will get his revenge. Cure, he may have lost in the qualifier. He may have lost earlier in this tournament, but no, Cure, he will fight back and he will make it through into the round of 8. Cure, he was favored to make it through, but Trigger, he fought hard. He made him work for it. Made him work for it here. Even now, Zealot counterattack. Guesses on the planetary. We're still getting rowdy. But this is the final army here. Like Trigger, he has no resources. He cannot warp in. He just could not maintain his bases, could not maintain the economy. He struggled to break the turtling Terran. There were a couple of nice moments for him. If you remember, there was that period in time where he was landing like 6 or 7 Novas at once. Or I say at once, like over time, consecutively. Relying on High Templar towards the end was difficult. I mean, I think one of the reasons was because one robot went down. So limited robot production towards the end. But High Templar, they just get dominated by the Ghost. They get dominated. And with that, the center expansion falls. We're stepping in. Colossus goes down. I think these are the final moments here. Trigger, he fought so hard and so well making it here to the ace match. He did well for himself. But with that, the Nexus falls. This is the final army. 1 Colossus, 3 Stalkers, all gets cleaned up. GG gets called, and Cure, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the GSL round of 8. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Cure, he'll make it through. My condolences to Trigger. Again, Trigger, he had such a difficult time breaking that turtling Terran. He threw away so much supply attempting to do so. I would say that he had a bit of a harder time, or he had a bit of a hard time when it came to teching and when it came to expanding and taking more bases and taking over control of the map. I feel like patience was a little bit more necessary there. Trigger, he kept trying to force the issue, but it was just not worth it. Time and time again, Trigger bleeding out Colossus, bleeding out High Templar, bleeding out his Stalkers, and could not break that defensive play. I mean, hey, that's the power of 10,000 feet. Power of 10,000 feet. Instead of that, we could have seen Trigger try to take more expansions and take up instead, but I believe we have a winner's interview. Drew.
Well, Kier, congratulations on your victory, advancing 2nd place in this group. Now, I want to ask you about mostly your games versus Trigger. In the first series versus Trigger, you played really aggressive styles. You went for proxy racks, game 1, proxy base, game 2. Trigger was able to defend. And then in the second series you played, you were able to find a lot more success in macro styles. Do you think defense is just better in TvP right now? Or is that where your strength is? Tell me about that.
일단 김덕 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 일단 트리거 선수와의
I think we got to a better question towards the
첫
end.
번째 시리즈에서는 사실 좀 공격적으로 운영을 하셨는데 계속 전진 빌드를 쓰셨는데 결국에는 막히고 좀 경기를 내줬지만 두 번째 시리즈 와서는 그냥 운영으로 좀 이렇게 승부를 보시면서 결국에는 승리를 해내셨어요. 아무래도 지금 태프전에 있어서 좀 더 공격보다는 수비가 좀 더 낫다고 생각을 하시는지 좀 여러 가지 생각을 좀 듣고 싶네요.
저는 그래도 주도권 가지고 좀 심리전 하면서 하는 게 좋다고 생각을 하는데 이번에 트리거 선수랑 할 때 저도 실수도 좀 많았고 그리고 트리거 선수가 좀 변칙적으로
I thought the question was a little bit disingenuous, but
이상한 빌드 하면 또
We hear.
좀 변칙적으로 해서 변수가 생길 것 같아서 평소에 하던 운영을 하는 게 낫겠다 싶어서 운영을 했는데 그래도 나쁘지 않게 경기력이 나왔던 것 같아서 다행인 것 같아요.
Initially, TvP, I think the taking the initiative itself is actually the more important thing. So
Yeah.
that being said, I try to make myself establishing some initiative towards Trigger, but I made a lot of mistakes in the process. So I try to I try myself trying to dial down a bit, trying to make less mistakes for myself and just go back to macro because he's also doing the stuff that I didn't really expect. So yeah, I think that went well for me. And also Trigger played a lot of good builds and good plays. So yeah, that may be a little difficult there.
Congratulations on your win. Kira, how far do you think you're going to go in this season of GSL?
그래도 이제
If you noticed,
힘겹게 올라오시긴 했지만 이제 8강
I think Tasers, he's asked like the same question for every player. He's like, how far do you think you're gonna go? Like, how well do you think you're gonna perform? Like, every time, same
사실은
question.
제가 생각해도 최근 폼이 그렇게 좋은 것 같진 않아서 최대한 끌어올려서 준비를 하면 그래도 8강만 진출하면 또 좀 오랜 시간 준비를 하면 또 좋은 경기력을 보여드릴 수 있다고 생각을 해서 일단 8강만 진출하는 걸 목표로 하고 있어요. 4강만 진출하는 거.
Yeah, lately I feel my form is not that great. So that being said, I'm trying to make myself getting out of the round of 8. So yeah, if I can make through there, then I think I can go further.
Well, congratulations on your wins today, and best of luck in the future.
GG, well played. I'm not very fond of these more general questions just because so winding it back a little bit meta here. If you notice, a lot of the players when it comes to their quotes, like Bjorn and Cure both specifically, they were both downplaying themselves and talking about how they're not in the best shape. So asking them about like how well they think they're going to perform and how far they're going to go, I mean, you already know the answer because they said so in their quotes, how they were not really feeling as informed, they're not really feeling too confident. So I feel like there are better ways to maybe approach a question about the next round in GSL without asking specifically about like how far they think they'll go. I think a better question is like, what do they think about the players in the next round, right? Like who they're going to be playing against. Remember, like we already have finalized groups, by the way. Like here it is, right? We have these finalized groups. I would say a better thing to ask, which is still general, but I would say a better question would be asking about like, hey, how do you feel about your group now that you're going to be locked in a group with Maru, Rogue, and Classic? We have these finalized groups, so like asking a little bit more about that, more so than like how far he thinks he's going to go or his current state of play, or because we kind of already know that, right? Like we're not really getting any new information regarding that kind of question. And you can help things open up a little bit when it comes to like him talking about specific players. Then you can maybe like latch onto something that he says there and push things further. Likewise, the first question was kind of weird, talking about like, oh, like, you know, you were really aggressive initially and you had more success with macro play. I mean, that's disingenuous just because of the maps themselves, right? We spoke about it. 10,000 feet specifically does favor more turtle heavy play. So the fact that we landed on 10,000 feet lends towards that kind of style. But I do actually really like the general question, which wasn't really answered, about like what he prefers in overall TvP, and he kind of answered that. He said that he felt like initiative is really important, and then he kind of moved on from there. But regardless, GG well played. Shout out to both Cure, shout out to Bjorn for making it through into the next round. And as we just saw, we have confirmed groups for the round of 8. Group A and Group B, that's going to be taking place next week, of course. At same time, same place, same channel. We will be there. And if you want to help support the GSL, you can do so via the Patreon. Patreon.com/GSL is the way to help support the tournament. You can also do so via Soup. There are 2 ways to promote or to support, via Soup and via Patreon. Both ways to support StarCraft and support the GSL, and to allow for a 3rd season of GSL to occur this year. Bearing in mind that so far we have Season 1 and Season 2 funded. Season 3 is still a little bit more up in the air. We're hoping to fund that and hoping to have more StarCraft and more GSL. As you can see here, $6,000 a month will allow for a second GSL CK a month. $10,000 a month. I'll zoom in a little bit. $10,000 a month is for GSL Season 3 to be confirmed. That'll be in May to November. And then we have $15,000 a month, 15,000 USD. That'll be for an expanded prize pool, an expanded format for GSL Season 3. Instead of a round of 12, a round of 16. Oh boy. But here we go. So again, if you want to help support the GSL, you can do so via Patreon or via Soup. Do support them. Again, it's a great initiative, of course, supporting the GSL and supporting Korean StarCraft. You can do so yourself. Oh boy. Otherwise, going to be wrapping up here for the week. And again, we'll be back next week for some more StarCraft. When it comes to the CranKy Ducklings, we have a very busy schedule ourselves. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft to be had here, to be held. And I want to see the bar. They've been updating the bar when it comes to like how much the Patreon has been earning. I want to see if we've been improving, if we've been increasing over the past couple of days. Show us what you got. Oh, they're the patrons. Shout out all the Nesty Awards. That's good. But a shout out to the patrons out there that are supporting the event, that are supporting GSL, likewise over on Soup as well. Over on Soup and over on Patreon. Much love, back. Much love. I can see Kronos. I know that they're like trying to censor out. Like, there's Periodista, I should say. There's Kronos. Who else do I notice? Who else do I recognize? Those are the only two, but they're the Soup supporters, the Korean supporters. Much love to Kronos. He's one of the Ducklings. Much love, much love. Ah. Is that Piotr on the right? I think so. Piotr. Your old mate David. True. Kim? Manifesting good posture. I love that. Good posture, baby. And so I'm just waiting for the bar to be shown. If they will. I think they did so yesterday when it came to the end of the broadcast. Show us the bar, papi. Show us the bar. Oh.
Incoming transmission.
Never mind. Never mind. With that, GG well played. We're going to be wrapping up here for the evening. If you want to support us and if you want some more StarCraft content, then bam, you can check us out here over on the rest of our schedule. We're going to be live. We're not going to be live tomorrow in the morning. We're going to be live later on tomorrow evening with Pegasus Cup. We have Pegasus Cup, a replay broadcast on Friday and Saturday, and we have the GSL rebroadcast of the VOD over on YouTube over the weekend. There we go. So again, we have plenty of content throughout the course of the week. StarCraft Evolution, Kung Fu Cup, Wardy TV Monday, TLMC, Pegasus Cup, and many more events. Plenty of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings as always. We live, we breathe StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings, and again, we cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast. If you want StarCraft content, then this is the place to be, whether it's here on Soup, whether it's on another platform. Regardless, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time for some more StarCraft. See you tomorrow for some Pegasus Cup action. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. Support GSL, support the Patreon.